Okay, so what if you could write a piece of code, an algorithm, that could actually end scarcity for good? I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But today, we're diving into a really radical pitch that's trying to do exactly that: build a brand new, resource based economy, all powered by some pretty advanced tech.
Think about that for a second. 24 hours. It's a huge question, right? It really sets the stage for the kind of crazy, high pressure innovation we're talking about. It seems impossible, but sometimes the biggest leaps forward happen when you're racing against the clock.
And look, this isn't just some theory. This whole thing was pitched at a real world hackathon, the 24-hour AI bootcamp in Tel Aviv. The mission wasn't just to talk about big ideas, it was to actually start building the thing, specifically two apps that work together to bring this whole economy to life.
This right here. This is the whole ballgame. It's the central question driving everything. Can we really use software to completely reshape our economic reality? Can we code a future where there's enough for everyone? That's the blueprint we're going to unpack today. All right, so what's the secret sauce? They call it quantum intelligence, or QI, and it's pronounced Chee. Now, you're not going to find this in a textbook. For this project, it's all about being a prescriptive technology. Instead of just trying to predict what's going to happen, the whole point of QI is to actively build a better future, guiding things toward the best possible outcomes. It's less of a crystal ball and more of a steering wheel.
This slide is huge because it really nails the difference. See, most AI we talk about is predictive. It looks at a ton of data and tells you what's likely to happen. This idea of QI is prescriptive. It's designed to actively make the good stuff happen. It's a shift from just watching the future unfold to actually having a hand in writing it. And an idea this big doesn't just appear out of thin air. The seed was planted way back in 1987. Fast forward to the early 2000s, and the core algorithms started taking shape right as the Internet of Things was becoming a reality. Then, of course, the pandemic hit, and it put everything on fast forward, showing just how badly a system like this is needed. And now it's grown into this much bigger vision, the path to peace. Now, this is maybe the most important rule of the whole thing. It doesn't matter how great your idea is. If you want it to work on a global scale, it has to be able to pay for itself. It has to be profitable. That's the engine. It's not a charity that might run out of donations. It's a self-sustaining system designed to just keep growing. So you've got this giant, world-changing idea. Where do you even begin? Well, you start small. You start with something real, something you can literally hold in your hand. And that was the Barnes Miracle Bar. Super simple, just 4 whole food ingredients. But this was never just about making a snack. It was about proving the entire economic model could work. And boom, here are the numbers. They honestly speak for themselves. The monthly cost to make the bars, about 31,000 shekels. The potential value when you sell them, over 72,000. You're more than doubling your money. This shows it's not just a passion project. It's a rock-solid, sustainable business from day one. But this is where it gets really clever. Profit is only half the picture. The system has this incredible social mission built right in. It's a 50-50 strategy. Half of the product gets sold and the other half goes to charity and promotion. Think about that. You're literally feeding people who are hungry, and that act of giving is your marketing. It's a genius loop. And they've broken it all down to a really human level to show that it's actually achievable. The goal for just one person is to produce 500 kilograms a month. Because it's so simple, it means an individual can do this. You don't need a massive corporation and a giant factory to be a part of it. Okay, so a food bar is a great start, but how do you scale that up to a global system? That's where the tech comes back in. The digital foundation for all of this is an ethical operating system they call QON, pronounced Zion. Think of it like the Windows or iOS for this new economy. And it has one core unbreakable rule: do no harm. Every single thing on the platform has to follow that principle. So if QION is the software, where does it run? Well, it runs in what's called a QIL zone, or a chill zone. And a QIL zone can be anything. It can be a single house, a farm, a neighborhood, or even an entire city. It's any physical place that agrees to operate by the rules of the QAnon system. So, what's the payoff? What do you actually get for being in one of these zones? That's the ClubQIL guarantee. It's basically a promise of a high standard of living. It means that no matter which QIL zone you're in, anywhere in the world, you're guaranteed things like clean air, pure water, healthy food, and a safe environment. It's a baseline for well-being. Okay, this is the engine room. This is the abundance flywheel that makes the whole thing grow. And remember those two apps from the hackathon? This is where they connect. So here's how it works. First, the community app helps people produce real things, real assets, like those food bars. Step 2, all that real stuff backs the system's currency, giving it actual value. Then, step 3, that value gets investors excited. So they use the second app, the investor app, to put capital into the system. And finally, that money is used to create more QIL zones. More zones make more stuff, which creates more value, which brings in more investment. You see? It just keeps feeding itself. Of course, an economy like this needs its own kind of money. It's called Barnes coin, and it's a completely different beast from what we're used to. I mean, look at this. Traditional money is backed by a government promise. Barnes coin is backed by real, tangible assets, stuff you can actually eat and use. The goal of our money is profit. The goal here is to eliminate scarcity. And maybe the biggest kicker, access to our system is based on the money you already have. Access here is based on the value you actually contribute.
So, where does a project this ambitious go from here? Well, it's all about making it engaging. They're talking about gamified edutainment, basically making it fun to help build this new world. They're also focused on merging the virtual and real world so you can offer and find services seamlessly. And this is so important. The vision is all about synergy between humans and AI, not AI replacing people. It's about empowering humans, not making them obsolete.
And so we end up right back where we started with that massive question. Is building a world of abundance with an algorithm just a wild utopian dream? Or is it the next logical step for us? The source material we've gone through today makes a pretty bold claim. It's not a question of if we can do this, but how we choose to design it. And it really makes you wonder, what kind of future do we want to code into existence?